Good day, everyone. I am Marielle Arambulo, together with Paolo Rafael Gomez, Sinead Santander, Trisha Tizon, Valenzuela, and Aeesha Zamora. We are Team Sout Caloocan from Bsmt 1A, and our research title is Defend It, Enhancing Knowledge on Nutrition, and Promoting Proper Eating Practices Among Children in the Community. We conducted our community program in Caloocan City, specifically in Barangay 7, located on J. Ramos Street. We decided to conduct our community survey in Barangay 7 because there is a wide range of immunodeficient children. After conducting research and visiting the community for the oncological view, we found that one of the primary causes of immunodeficiency among children is the improper diet. This is not only based on oncological view that was conducted but also the data collected from Literal Health Center of the barangay. Many children in the area like to consume junk foods more than healthy foods such as vegetables and fruits. This had led to several complications and diseases that could have been prevented with proper diet. Our group decided to compose formal letter to properly reach out to those who govern the community. When our group's formal letter was accepted, we immediately conducted a visit. When we arrived in the barangay, we did not immediately waste the opportunity that was there. So our group formally asked to have a short interview with the captain Lonila Zamora and one of her kagawad. There we found that there is a primary complex and tuberculosis among the elderly as the two most pressing healthcare issues in their barangay, and a wide range of immunodeficiencies among young children caused by the inadequate sleep and unbalanced diet. The chairwoman notes that despite the efforts to implement a curfew for children under 10 years old, the children's parents have not adhered to the restriction, leading to sleep deprivation and weakened immune system. The barangay has implemented strict protocols and initiatives to address malnutrition and promote good health among children. It also acknowledges the importance of community involvement in healthcare programs such as religious and academic groups conducting feeding programs and livelihood seminars for parents. Lastly, the barangay conduct regular medical vision and survey to monitor the health of its residents. After the short interview, we also formally asked them to take a picture with us as the document that we went to visit and have interviewed in Barangay 7.
For the problems identified, during the interview we had the authorities, several problems were discussed, such as inadequate resources for the maintenance of senior citizens, especially those who do not have the means to afford it, inadequate supply of vitamins for kids, primary complex in children, and improper diet of children. But the problem which caught our attention and actually is the main concern of the authorities themselves is the problem about the improper diet of children in their community. When we visited and made an ocular visit in their community, we saw that there are a lot of children holding junk foods, chips, and even soda. During the interview, their barangay captain mentioned that they've made some efforts and initiatives to at least lessen the cases of improper diet of children. Initiatives such as pasopas and feeding programs. However, these initiatives are not enough to eradicate the said problem if it is not being discussed properly. As a result, the researchers have conducted a program in which the children of the community will fully understand the true meaning of proper diet and nutrition.
Good day, I am Sinead Santander, and I'm reporting on behalf of the research team that has recently visited Barangay 7 and Caloocan City. We have identified several problems, including number 1, weak immune systems of children due to an unbalanced diet and insufficient sleep. Number 2, insufficient parental care, which may contribute to weakened immune systems and susceptibility to primary complex and other illnesses. And lastly, an environment that encourages unhealthy eating habits, such as the consumption of soft drinks and junk food. So, children who don't get enough sleep may have a weaker immune system, making them more susceptible to illnesses. Moreover, insufficient diet, particularly a lack of fruits and vegetables, vitamins, and staple foods, can weaken the immune system also. It can lead to immunodeficiency. Parents who do not provide proper care for their children, including proper nutrition and hygiene, can also contribute. This habit can lead to various health problems, including obesity, heart disease, diabetes, that can weaken the immune system and make children more vulnerable to infections and diseases. In order to address the problem of immunodeficiency in the community, the research team has identified several objectives for the study too. Firstly, the team aims to educate the respondents, particularly the children, about what compromises a proper and an improper diet, to so help them make informed choices about the food they consume and encourage them to choose healthier options. Secondly, the team aims to inform the audience about the advantages of a proper diet, as well as the disadvantages of an improper diet. This will help raise awareness about the importance of proper nutrition and the potential risks associated with unhealthy diet. And thirdly, the team aims to reduce the possibility of immunodeficiency as it is the main problem of the community. By improving the children's diet and overall health, we hope to reduce the incidence of diseases and illnesses that are associated with weak immune system. And finally, the team aims to improve the overall health of the children in the community. By promoting proper nutrition, healthy eating lifestyle habits, we hope to contribute to the overall well-being and quality of life of the children in the community. Through these objectives, we hope to make a positive impact on the health and the well-being of the children in the community. We hope to contribute to their long-term development and success of the community as a whole.
Researchers have recorded a timeline for each activity accomplished in preparation of the intervention that can be seen on the research paper, which I will discuss in detail. On the 18th of April of the year 2023, the researchers constructed a formal letter to the barangay informing the barangay staff of the researchers' goals and interests concerning the barangay. As we await the feedback of the barangay regarding our request of a formal visit as well as an intervention based on the results of a survey conducted in their barangay, we created a few questions to ask the barangay staff regarding the areas of interest in relation to the health of the community. On April 21st of the same year, we made an ocular visit and conducted a short interview with the barangay captain and the other kagawats. After a discussion regarding the information from the interview as well as an ocular visit, the researchers came up with survey questions and distributed the survey on April 26 with permission from the barangay. After careful analysis of the collected results in the pre-survey, the researchers planned a health education seminar discussing the proper and improper diet as well as consequential effects of improper diet if it is the one that is maintained for the 29th of April as well as a feeding program occurring on the same day. The researchers have also kept a timeline of the flow of the program on April 29th, beginning with the researchers meeting at 7 a.m. for 30 minutes before the hour-long preparation of the venue, followed by the health education seminar, which also lasted an hour, ending with the commencement of the feeding program.
So, good day everyone. I am Trisha Tizon and I will be reporting the second part of the intervention, which is the results and discussion. So, this table shows the frequency distribution of a data set according to gender. So the data set consists of 50 individuals, and the table presents the number of individuals in each gender category, which in this case are girls and boys. So the first column indicates the gender categories, while the second column displays the frequency of each gender category. So there are 23 girls and 27 boys in the data set. So the third column shows the cumulative frequency, which represents the running total of the frequency for each gender category. So in this case, cumulative frequency for girls is 23, while the cumulative frequency for boys is 50, which is the total number of individuals in the dataset. Um, the fourth column displays the relative frequency, which is calculated by dividing the frequency of each gender category by the total number of individuals in the dataset. So the relative frequency for girls is 0.46, which means 46% of the individuals are girls. So the relative frequency for boys is 0.54, which means 54% of the individuals in the dataset are boys. Finally, the fifth column shows the cumulative relative frequency, which is the running total of relative frequency for each gender category. So the cumulative relative frequency for girls is 0.46, while the cumulative relative frequency for boys is um 1, so which represents the total proportion of the dataset. In summary, this table provides a summary of gender distribution in a dataset showing the absolute and relative frequencies of each gender category as well as their cumulative frequencies. So as for the second table or table number 2, this is a frequency distribution table that presents the data according to age. So this time, this is the age that we are talking about. So the data are presented in several columns, including class, which represents the age group, frequency, which represents the number of individuals in each age group, cumulative frequency rather, which represents the running total of individuals up to that age group, relative frequency, which represents the proportion of individuals in each age group, and cumulative relative frequency, which represents the proportion of individuals up to that age group. So based on table 2, there were 50 children or individuals included rather in the data set. So the age groups range from 5 years old to 10 years old. The frequency of individuals in each age group is presented in the frequency column. So for instance, there were 12 individuals who were 5 years old and 9 individuals who were 6 years old. So this is a so on and so forth process. So the cumulative frequency column represents the running total of individuals up to that age group. For instance, the cumulative frequency for that age group is for that age group 6 years old is 21, which means there were total of 21 individuals who were 6 years old or younger. So the relative frequency column presents the proportion of individuals in each age group. So for instance, the proportion of individuals who were 5 years old was 0.24, which means that 24% of the individuals were in that age group. Finally, the cumulative frequency column presents the proportion of individuals up to that age group. For instance, the cumulative frequency for that age group 6 years old is 0.42, which means that 42% of the individuals were 6 years old or younger. Overall, the table 2 provides a summary of the distribution of individuals in the dataset according to age. The findings and analysis of a study done in Barangay 7, J. Ramos Street, Caloocan City are presented in this paper, which aimed to address the issue of unbalanced diet among local children in the said vicinity. So the study included a feeding program, an educational session, and as well as a survey to gauge the children's understanding of healthy eating practices, which in this case is what are we talking about. So this is the result of the survey that were given to the children in the said community. So what does this mean? This provided data helped us, the researchers, to further ensure what is the volume of people or how many individuals are we trying to deal with, since this is an important factor, especially in imposing the scope and delimitation of the study. So through the survey, we were able to know for in fact that 50 kids were surveyed in total, with 23 girls or 46% and 27 boys, which is 54%, making up the entire sample. So the majority of kids, according to the age distribution, were um, 5 to 7 years old. So in this part of the presentation, which is the implementation, I am going to explain or tell the chronological processes of what happened throughout the time that we are trying to um, conduct this program. So first, the researchers visited the neighborhood and spoke with the barangay officials to further understand the various issues facing the community. So, following the visit, they determined that the primary issue was the unbalanced diet of children, and thus made the decision rather to prioritize their efforts on the program that the researchers would do so. So the team came up with a strategy to run a feeding program and teach the children good eating habits. However, given that the children's attention span may be shorter than those of adults, the researchers chose to implement a feeding program in addition to the health education lecture so that they would have something to look forward to at the end. So it was made sure that the foods these kids ingested or ate rather, were healthy, including sopas, apples, vitamin-filled drinks, and as well as Vita Cubes, which is an excellent substitute for candy. So to appropriately carry out the strategy, the team communicated with the barangay leaders and gathered money from their own pockets to ensure the availability of the funds. So looking through a perspective, after successfully creating a plan with the established individual roles rather for each researcher, they began coordinating with the barangay officials about how the event should go. Now that the children and their parents were left with broad smiles when the educational session and distribution of healthy foods came to a graceful end, it was found by the study that the issue of imbalanced meals among local children could potentially be successfully addressed and resolved through a well-planned educational lecture and feeding program, just like what happened to our group. So you see, there is a growing trend in the relevance of the study's findings because this study acts as a proof that by giving children in the neighborhood an access to wholesome meals and as well as to teach them about healthy eating practices, um, it is really possible to improve their health. So this study is intended to serve as a guide for other communities dealing with the same issues. And perhaps, as if this were to be done consistently over time, we could actually apply in real life setting what was once said by the Miss Universe 2018. Her name is Catriona Gray, which I quote, with we could have an amazing world where negativity could not grow and foster and the children would have smiles on their faces.
I will now present the appendices of this research. Good day, I am Paolo Gomez, and these are the documents and pictures that are important in documenting the whole activity, from the planning stages until the evaluation. The first document is a sample copy of the consent form given to the barangay officials of Barangay 7. This consent form lets us ask permission to undertake the program and explains how it will be conducted. With this, we were able to share the possible benefits or risks from the program and let us undertake the program with the barangay officials' consent and their help in doing the program. The next document that will be shown is the sample copy of the questionnaire for the program that will be given to the children ages 5 to 10 for the survey, asking them simple yes or no questions about what foods they eat, if they have a balanced diet at home, or if they constantly eat unhealthy foods every day. These questions give us ample information on the children's situation regarding their knowledge about healthy food and if they have a healthy diet. The next to be shown are pictures of us during and after the interviewing process with the barangay officials. The interviewee in question is the Kapitana, Honorable Leonila Zamora, and one of her kagawads. We were asking them about what might be the problem in their communities. After the interview, we asked them for a picture for documentation purposes, as seen on the first one. This is an important step for us because with these interviews, we can properly identify the main focus of our community activity, which is the eating habits of the children. The next set of pictures are about the dissemination of the questionnaires for the survey. We chose children ages 5 to 10 years old and their parents to be the target audience for this survey. This action provides us with a reliable, usable information about the children's knowledge about what foods are healthy or unhealthy and gives us a detailed and systematic way to view and analyze our data. Lastly are the pictures for the program. The first pair of pictures show us preparing the food and the lecture with the help of the barangay officials. We place the food like sopas, apples, Vita cubes, and zestos on top of a table inside the barangay hall. The place where we conducted the program or lecture is in front of the barangay hall, so we had to place the chairs for the children and the elderly people that accompanied them. Sadly, there was no projector available, so we had to make do with a simple laptop.
Experience give us the test first and the lessons later. With this community program that we conducted, I realized that it is not easy to carry out community programs because there are many necessary plans and implementation in barangay health programs to carry out the community program properly. I used to think it was easy to do community program because you just give food and help to people, but After I experienced it, I said to myself, this is how much needs to be done. You need to have a lot of plans ready to carry out the program, and seeing and experiencing how much works and needs to be done just to implement the program and have a good outcomes. I really appreciate the people who always implement programs in different communities. Also, I learned why it's very important to conduct programs in each barangay because there are problems that are not addressed or not paid attention to by the higher ups. By conducting programs, the problem and deficiencies of the communities are reduced and addressed. After we did our program, I realized that I needed to enhance my interpersonal skills because during the program, I was afraid to face and speak in front of many people, and sometimes I stuttered. Overall, in the program we conducted, I learned and realized a lot. All the things I learned, I will carry with me until I finish my studies, and my realization I still need to focus on.
Before I went to the community activity, I knew that this activity would be complicated, but this was a lot more complex than I thought at first. Going through this community activity with my group has let me improve my life by sacrificing my free time to help the community and taught me so many lessons that I cannot learn through books. I have the opportunity to apply the knowledge that I have learned through this volunteering. Now, when I learned about the problem, I was downhearted at first, but I resolved myself to help the children avoid illnesses and problems. Now, when we started the program, the impact I have seen the most in community services is the grateful smiles from the children towards us. When this happened, I was so happy receiving them. So, this learning outcome can be used inside my experience because it has influenced me to do the things that I will not do before. And in my future career, I will use this experience as a guide.
As I conclude my research study on the health problems of the Barangay 7 in the Caloocan City, I am overwhelmed with a mix of emotions. On the one hand, I am saddened to learn about the challenges and struggles about the community faces, particularly with regards to the health of their children, mainly because of the lack of the proper care from their parents. It is disheartening to know that many of the kids in the community are suffering from immunodeficiency due to poor eating habits and a lack of access to proper nutrition. On the other hand, I am inspired by the dedication and resilience of the barangay officials and health workers who are working hard to improve the situation. It is heartwarming to see the positive impact that even small steps can have on the lives of the people in this community, such as providing vitamins and supplements to the children and encouraging them to make healthier food choices. I am grateful for the opportunity to contribute to this cause by sharing my knowledge and help on proper nutrition and healthy lifestyle. Hearing from the barangay officials and health workers about how our program has made a difference in the lives of the children in the community is truly touching and humbling. I am personally influenced by this experience to continue prioritizing my own health and well being, not only for myself as a role model, for others too. I realized that even small changes in our own habits can have a ripple effect and inspire others to make positive changes in their own lives.
As a person who has had a fair share of experience in this project, and as well as someone who had literally partaken in this project in the field, I can say with utmost certainty that there are four things that I have learned while taking this experience. So, first is collaboration is crucial. The project showed that collaboration with local officials and its residents is crucial in identifying the problems and developing an effective program that can address them. So, in a much broader sense,
Without the barangay officials and their people helping us, we would not have done this project successfully. It is important to learn how to reach for help to someone, especially when your aim or objective is for the greater good. Second would be understanding the local context. So the project highlights the importance of understanding the local context, which includes the community's needs, resources, and existing initiatives. This information can help create a program that is relevant and effective. So through understanding the situations if of a local community when you are trying to lend help to a problem that has been long occurring to them, it is very rather crucial to first understand what they are going through so that we can better formulate ways in how to navigate their problem in such a manner that would really rather produce an optimistic outcome. So, third would be focus on prevention. So, the project emphasizes the importance of prevention rather than the treatment. So, by focusing on promoting healthy habits and educating children, the program can prevent health problems and improve the overall well being of the community. I believe in the quote which says, prevention is better than cure. I just think that this really states factual and realistic advice, especially in a real life setting, since it is very ironic to start taking action only when the problem starts to spread. So, one must know that it is important to focus more on the prevention so that further complications will not come into existence anymore. Lastly, sustainability rather is the key. So the project also emphasizes the importance of sustainability. A program that is sustainable can have a long-lasting impact on the community and can be replicated in other communities with similar needs. So we have to understand that when we take initiative to a certain problem, it is important that we ensure the level of sustainability of a particular project so that we can actually predict if this will be a long-term or short-term goal. Again, a project that is sustainable can have a long-lasting impact to a community, which is a good thing and so implies that your plan is working. Overall, the project highlights the importance of addressing the health problems at the community level through collaboration, understanding the local context, and focusing more on prevention and sustainability.
One of the things I have learned during the intervention activities is the knowledge of just how much work goes into planning and implementing barangay health programs. Seeing and experiencing how much work is done in order to achieve good outcomes has amplified my appreciation for those who conduct these programs regularly and for various communities. I have also learned how important it is to consider your target audience when hosting a program. In our case, we conducted a health education seminar for children 5 to 10 years old, and although we were successful in gaining their attention and focus, it was not an effortless feat. After careful reflection, I have gathered that there are also skills that I would like to further enhance, mainly my interpersonal skills, as there were times during the program planning and the intervention where I realized I could have done so much better in had I just focused on improving my social skills beforehand.
This activity made a huge impact on me as an individual. Through this, I saw that I can do something to help my community, and taking part and doing this kind of initiatives makes us realize how blessed are we that we are not actually facing the problems that they're having, such as malnutrition and different kinds of diseases. Um Through this, I can actually apply being empathetic and sympathetic towards my future patients. I've also learned that we should be aware of what is happening in our surroundings and in our society, and what could we actually do to eradicate it. I was also at glee to see happy faces. This activity actually made me see that even the simplest thing like the apple that we gave them could actually mean a lot to them. Through our simple efforts, we are actually helping a lot of people.